Everyone in the world faces a lot of circumstances. Some faces a smaller one, while some faces the mammoth one. But in December 2019, the world faced a humongous problem that is none other than the coronavirus, which compelled us to live in our houses. Good morning guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to cover all we have about the novel coronavirus. Before starting the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and please share the video. Coronavirus, commonly known as COVID-19, is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 and is originated from China. The first case of COVID-19 in India was reported on 30th Jan 2020 in Thrissur area of Kerala, and by 3rd February 2020 the case rose to 3% due to the students returning from the Wuhan city in China. On 12 Jan 2020, the World Health Organization gave the approval of novel coronavirus originating from the Wuhan in China. And on 31st December 2019, the World Health Organization reported the first case of coronavirus from the birthplace of this menace, which is the Wuhan city. In March 2020, the transmission grew to several other people having a travel history to affected country. On 12th March 2020, India reported its first fatality due to COVID-19 of a 76-year-old man with a travel history to Saudi Arabia. The Sikh preacher who had a travel history to Italy and Germany was termed to be a super spreader as he attended Sikh festival in Anandpur Sahib during 10 to 12 March, and 27 COVID cases were traced back to him. By that time, nationwide lockdown was imposed and 40,000 people in 20 villages of Punjab were quarantined on 27th March 2020. On 31st March 2020, Tablighi Jamaat, a religious gathering event in the Nizamuddin area in New Delhi, also emerged as a super spreader event and numerous cases were traced back to it. A government panel on COVID-19 found in October 2020 that the pandemic had peaked in India, and it was predicted that it could come under the control by February 2021. Not only India but the whole world had suffered a lot in this COVID time. Due to this ferocious pandemic, on 19th March 2020, the Government of India announced that no international flight will be allowed to land in India from 22nd March 2020. Along with this, the Union Government announced the suspension of all the domestic flights in countries from 25th March. In order to control the outspread of this novel coronavirus, the Government of India has implemented a nationwide lockdown, allowing the business which is concerned with providing the essentials during the time of lockdown, and people associated with it were allowed to step out of their houses. There were many citizens of India who were stuck in foreign countries. In order to bring them back to their home, the Government of India launched the Vande Bharat mission, in which Indian naval ships and flights were sent to bring back our citizens. But the people who were returning back from the international countries were bound to quarantine themselves for minimum 14 days. By March 2020, the Western and the Central Railways brought certain changes in their policy. On 14th March 2020, the Western and the Central Railways removed the curtain and the blankets from the AC coaches in the train for the passengers. Along with this, the Western Railway increased the platform charges from 10 rupees to 50 rupees. In Mumbai, we all are aware that the local trains are called the lifeline of the Mumbai city. In the same way, Delhi Metro is said to be the lifeline of Delhi. But this pandemic has also affected the movement of the lifeline of Delhi. From 24th January 2020, the Delhi Metro was scheduled to remain closed till the next notice. We all know to do any kind of business, we need four things, that are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. But out of these four, one of the important factors were affected very badly, and that was none other than the hard-working labor, who used to grind themselves in the hard machinery of life only to satisfy the hunger of his as well as his family's belly. The lockdown left 10 of millions of the migrant workers unemployed. With factories and workplaces shut down, Many migrant workers were left with no livelihood. Thus, they decided to walk hundreds of the kilometers to go back to their native villages, accompanied by their family in many cases. In its report to the Supreme Court of India on 30 March 2020, the central government stated that the migrant workers moved in the panic created by the fake news that the lockdown would last for more than 3 months. In early May, the central government finally permitted the Indian Railways to launch the Shramik special train for the migrant workers and others stranded, but this move had a few of the complications. It is said that education is one of the pillars for the development of any nation, but that pillar is uprooted by this novel coronavirus as on 16th March 2020 the union government ordered the closure of all the schools and colleges in the nation till the next notice. Until now they are closed for the safety of the students as well as their gurus. Along with this, Central Board for Secondary Education (CBSE) also postponed the leftover classes 10th and 12th exam which were later on cancelled. The world has witnessed many financial crises in the past, the last one being the global recession of 2008. But the current coronavirus is different from the past fallouts. This pandemic had sent market around crashing to the level not witnessed since the global financial crisis of 2008. Due to this pandemic, the two most prominent indices of Indian stock market, BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty 50, fell by 38%. The Indian Space Research Organization's GSAT-1 mission, which was scheduled for its launch in April 2020, was postponed due to the lockdown during the COVID crisis. Along with this, on 1st April, the coal mining operation of Singareni Collieries Company in Telangana city was halted due to the threat of COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know, the whole India was compelled to stay in their houses and the only way for the people to spend their leisure time is entertainment. But this pandemic of COVID-19 has also halted the way of entertainment. The International Indian Film Academy Awards (IFA Awards) scheduled to take place on 27th March was cancelled on 25th March. All major video streaming services in the country jointly announced that they would restrict the streaming of high definition video on cellular networks during the 21-day lockdown in order to preserve network capacity and infrastructure. In mid-March 2020, a number of cities and states announced that they would restrict public gatherings, dine in restaurants, or order the closure of various non-essential businesses through 31st March to slow down the spread of COVID-19, including the capital region Delhi, Lucknow, Punjab, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, and Rajasthan. On 19th March 2020, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, asked all Indians to observe a 14-hour Janta curfew on 22nd March 2020 and to thank essential workers by clapping and ringing bell at 5 p.m. outside their homes. On March 24, with 519 confirmed cases and 9 deaths in the country, Prime Minister Modi announced that India would be placed under a total lockdown for at least 3 weeks. All non-critical businesses and services were ordered closed except for hospitals, grocery stores, and pharmacy, and there was a total ban on leaving the home for non-essential purposes. All public transport was suspended. In order to control the spread of this novel coronavirus, the Indian government began the vaccination on 16 January 2021. Despite concerns surrounding the possibility of a second wave of COVID-19 in the country, nightclubs, restaurants, markets, and the Hindu Spring Festival of Holi on 29 March 2021 were being met with a large crowd, with many of them floating the health and safety guidelines. By early 2021, the second wave of coronavirus took hold in the country. On 9th April 2021, India surpassed 1 million active cases as well as on 12th Jan 2021, India overtook Brazil as having the highest overall number of COVID 19 cases worldwide. The Haridwar Kumbh Mela was described as one of the super spreader, being linked to at least 1700 positive cases. Alongside the Mela, Modi and the Bharatiya Janata Party have faced a lot of criticism for hosting campaign rallies for West Bengal Legislative Assembly election, despite the several state of the pandemic in India, which have similarly featured large crowd floating guidelines such as social distancing and wearing a face mask. By late April, India passed 2.5 million active cases and was reporting 3 lakh new cases and nearly 2,000 deaths every day. The second wave has taken a major strain on Indian healthcare system, including an ongoing shortage of liquid medical oxygen due to unanticipated demand, delays in transport, and lack of cryogenic tankers. On April 21, 22 COVID 19 patients who required ventilator died at a hospital in Maharashtra after an accident caused a leak in its main oxygen supply. On April 25, the PM Care Fund announced that it would allocate funding to install 551 new oxygen plants using pressure swing absorption at public health facilities. As we all are aware that the new variant or the present variant of this novel coronavirus proved very much destructive for India. This new variant of the novel coronavirus has taken a strong hold in India. Due to this new variant of the pandemic, the world power USA or the Biden administration will restrict the travel from India of non-US citizens from May 4th onwards to prevent COVID-19 variant from entering the US. Along with that, the Haryana government has also extended the weekend lockdown in 8 districts, and the Traders Union of New Delhi has also called for self lockdown in respected market till 10th May 2021. Before ending the video, I would like to bring a special COVID 19 prevention toolkit for all my lovely viewers. And about this, we have to came to know from India's one of the prominent news channel, Z News. The first and foremost thing in that toolkit is thermometer, which is used to measure our body temperature and to identify whether a person is suffering from fever or not. Then the next thing in that toolkit is pulse oximeter. It is a biscuit shaped device that is used to measure the oxygen level and the pulse rate of the body. It is advised by the doctor that in the time of COVID crisis we have to maintain our oxygen level between 94 to 100. Then the next thing in that toolkit is a steamer. It is advised by the doctor that especially in this COVID crisis, the people should take steam as it clears the unwanted particle from the human respiratory path, which is very much important in this pandemic. Then the next important thing in that toolkit is PCM tablets or paracetamol tablets. It is advised to keep a single packet of PCM tablets in our home. Then the next thing in that toolkit for my lovely viewers is antacid tablets. Then the next one is anti-allergic medicine, and after the prescription of a certified doctor we can take a particular medicine for ourselves. Then the next thing in that toolkit is a thermal flask to keep lukewarm water. It is being advised by the doctor to take a lukewarm water during this corona crisis, and it was advised that we should drink at least 4 to 5 glass of lukewarm water every day. Then the next thing in that toolkit is an immunity booster such as kada, and these are available in the market and we can prepare the kada in our home. Along with this, there are several medicine in the market which claim to be an immunity booster. Then the next thing in the toolkit is haldi wala doodh. It is generally we seen in India that turmeric is a treatment for several diseases and also acts as an immunity booster for our body.